Hey, this is Lauren, the Cheerful Baker, and I am making royal icing today. So I thought I would bring you along for the ride. And I'm using my homemade meringue powder, and I'll post the recipe in the comments, and I'll tell you a little bit about that a little bit later. But here is how I make royal icing. And I'm going to go ahead and turn my camera down so you can see. Where do I look? I think I look there when I talk. I'm used to doing this on my computer, but my computer won't let me do this. So anyway, I'm going to move the camera down so hopefully you all can see more what I'm doing. So first of all, I have 2 pounds of powdered sugar in this bowl. I've already weighed it out. I buy big things of powdered sugar from Costco or Sam's Club, and then I just have a little scale right here and I weigh it out, and I've put that in my bowl. Next, I'm going to take a half a cup of my homemade meringue powder, and you can use this exactly like you use regular meringue powder, store-bought meringue powder with your own recipe, but this is just the recipe that I like. So I'm going to put that in there. And then next, I'm going to do a half a teaspoon of salt, and I really like this pink salt right here. Again, you can tell I buy it from, I think I get this from Costco. So I'm just going to put a half a teaspoon in there. And next, I'm going to put it in here, and I'm just going to allow it to mix. And as you all are watching, if you have questions, feel free to ask. I'm going to let that mix up really well. Now, some people, I'll get down here. Some people like to mix their water with their meringue powder. You can do that too. I find that this works real well and it's just super easy. So I'm going to do it this way. Next, I'm going to get some water and I'm going to add it. And the cookies I'm making today are not for anybody. I'm doing the samples for my Cheerful box, which is fun. I'm excited about decorating those. So I'm letting my water warm up, and I'm going to add a half a cup of warm water. So I'm going to add a half a cup of warm water, but what I like to do is actually add my flavoring to my water. So I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. And this is on low. So I'm just going to add that in slowly. And then I have a fourth of a cup of corn syrup. So I'm going to add that in next. And the corn syrup just gives it a little bit of a softer bite. So I really like to use that. Make sure I get that all in there. And then I'm going to put on my timer for 3 minutes. And I'm going to see if I can get this maybe a little closer. Let me see if I can get it a little bit closer for you all to see. I'm going to mix this for 3 minutes, and then I'll show you what it looks like. Now, here's a little note about royal icing. When I'm looking at this, it looks very grainy. So I didn't have quite a half a cup, a quarter of a cup of corn syrup. I need to go to the grocery store. But when I look at it, it does look a little bit grainy. So that tells me that I need to add just a little teeny tiny more water. So I'm just going to put a little bit more water in my cup. And I'm just going to add a little bit. And then let me see if I can take this out and flip this around and show you all. Whoops, that's not how you do it. Um, Hold on. I usually don't do this on my phone. So I don't know. Maybe, let's see, maybe we can do it like this. There. Okay. So you can see it's real bright, really bright white. Whoops. Sorry. And it's mixing. And I'm going to show you what it looks like when it's done. So we have less than a minute left. And because it's still a little bit grainy, let me turn that off and see if you can see what I mean. Um, it's not real smooth. Now it's pretty smooth, but I can still see just a teeny tiny little bit of graininess. I'm just going to add just a little bit more water. I probably added about a tablespoon because I want it to be pretty smooth. So that's hard. This is hard to do on the phone, but I can't do it on the computer. So there's lots of different ways to make royal icing. The way that I do it is with homemade meringue powder. My meringue powder has 4 ingredients, which is egg white. Oh, it's been 3 minutes. So I'm going to turn it off. It has dehydrated egg whites, cornstarch, cream of tartar, and powdered sugar. So we can all pronounce those ingredients, right? If you buy meringue powder from the store, go look at all the ingredients on the packaging because it's definitely more than 4. So my meringue powder recipe um, costs about $2.10 per cup, and a regular meringue powder. I tested this against Jeannie's Dream because I love Jeannie's Dream, and I usually always have a bag just for backup. um, but that is $6.75 per cup. So $2.10 compared to $6.75, that's a pretty good savings. But I created this recipe whenever I was going on the Food Network because I just wanted something different. So I bought a book about the science of baking to figure out exactly how much of each ingredient to put in, and it works absolutely great. So let me show you this icing. As you can see, sort of, went for about 3 minutes, and it's bright white. It's beautiful. It's exactly like the regular royal icing that you make using any other meringue powder. Now, some people mess up when they make royal icing because what they'll do is they'll mix it until it looks like it's combined, and then they'll stop. You can't do that. You need to mix it at least 3 minutes. You don't want to mix it longer than that because if you mix your royal icing for a long time, it can get very spongy. So now I have my icing. I'm going to thin it out for the decorating. Like I said, I'm decorating samples today, so today's always a fun day. I'm going to thin it out and add the color that I need. And then anything that's left, I'm going to store in the refrigerator because it helps it to not separate, especially if you have color in it. Here's some meringue or some royal icing right there. So I like to keep it in the refrigerator. But while I'm using it, what I'll do is I'll get a wet paper towel and I'll just put it on top of the bowl of icing, and that'll keep it from drying out. Because the one thing that royal icing hates is air. It dries it out. So I hope that that was helpful. I know it was hard with this phone and trying to flip it around and all that stuff. Wasn't easy, but you got the gist, hopefully. And my meringue powder recipe comes with my royal icing recipe, a cookie recipe. It tells you, gives you ideas on how to thin the icing out to be able to get it to piping and flooding consistency, because we need to make making cookies easy, because we're getting ready to make a lot of them right for Christmas. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you all have a great day. Bye.